Hi guys, Aceface back with another video for you, and this is the next part in my Road to the Las Vegas Open 2016, sponsored by Wargames. Please do check the guys out for all your hobby needs. Great guys, awesome store, and lots and lots of systems covered at really affordable prices with very quick and effective service. So check them out. So today what I want to do is I want to talk about the all-important list. Now this is an early video. I'm doing this is quite early in the journey, so there will probably be another list video later on after I've had some more practice games. As I get closer to the tournament and start to put the fine details in. But as it stands at the moment, I'm erring between two different lists that I'm going to go through with you. I am very stubborn, I'm kind of set in my ways, but I am always keen to hear any feedback, any advice, anything you like, don't like, what your concerns are with the list, and I'll take it on board. I can't promise I'll change anything because, as I said, I'm pretty stubborn, but I'm always keen to hear feedback. So let's start off. So straight away I'm going to tell you the issues I've got with this. The biggest issue I've got with particularly this first list of the two is the small model count. That worries me to a degree, but I'm hoping to counter it with sheer volume of damage output. So anyway, right, so HQ slot is filled by a commander. The commander is in iridium armour and he has got drone commander. That is it. So he comes in at 118 points. Very cheap and cheerful. Just bare bones really, to be fair. Just enough to do what I need him to do, which is be a little bit more survival with the 2-up save and the toughness 5. But pretty much that's it. You'll see why. Kit up with a drone commander as we get on. So in the troops choice, I've gone for 2 units of Kroot. Again, bare bones, just 10 Kroot, no sniper rifles, no nothing. They are just my sort of infiltrators. They get on an objective early, or they can like cover something, so use a little bit of a bubble wrap on something. You know, that's the type of unit. They're a throwaway unit. They're 60 points a pop, so 120 points for my troop choice. That's all it is, pretty throwaway. But I like Kroot. I like what they're capable of doing. The fact they can infiltrate, outflank. They've got their uses. Going into the fast attack, probably the most important part, or one of the most important parts of my army, is the 2 Wyvara battlesuits, the Riptide variants. Now I'll probably do another video on these guys themselves because I still think they're probably not particularly well known. They are experimental rules, but because experimental rules is now being allowed in a lot of tournaments, a lot of people are only catching on to what they can do. So awesome unit. I've gone for 2 of them. I've given them both stimulant injectors. I couldn't give them interceptor. I really wanted to, just can't find the points. So instead they just both got stimulant injectors. Very mobile, huge amount of damage output, pretty survivable with the stimulant injectors, particularly when they get close. With the 4-up Invont and the 5-up Feel No Pain, nothing to be sneered at. Really like them. They always do very well for me. Star performance. So I've gone for 2 of those. Moving on to the Lord of War slot. Now in the Lord of War slot, no surprises really. Not 1 Storm Surge, but 2 Storm Surge. So a unit of 2 Storm Surges. I really think that they are the magic in this list. They are the real damage output and a lot of survivability. I had a lot of question marks about them at the beginning. I'm really sold on Storm Surges now. They are awesome unit. But, and here's the big but, the way I've kitted them up is not necessarily the way that I would like to. I still think it will do a job, but I have my doubts. And this again is down to points. So the first Storm Surge I've kitted out with the driver cannon, which is obviously the ordnance, strength 10, stays the same. Nasty, long range, great weapon. The one that I favour. It's got twin link flamer, I actually found when I used it, the flamer was very useful. I'm quite aggressive with my storm surges, so actually I've got no issues with the flamer at all. I quite like it. So we've gone for the flamer. I've gone for advanced targeting system, just so I've got that ability to precision shot things. Can be very handy. I've gone for early warning override, so again the interceptor I think is going to be awesome, really good, and a shield generator, which I think is an absolute must. It's very expensive at 50 points, but it just makes the survivability that much better. I think without it, storm surges just aren't survivable enough. You know, they need that 4-up invuln. With only a 3-up save, the 4-up invuln is absolutely essential. So that's the first one in the unit. The second one I've had to kit slightly differently, and this is the one that's a little bit of a disappointment, and I'll explain why in a minute. So as far as the upgrades on him, I've gone for exactly the same. So advanced targeting system, early warning override, and the shield generator. Now I would have liked to have sacrificed the advanced targeting system for a velocity tracker, because I would have liked one of them to have Skyfire. Just can't afford it at 20 points, cannot fit it in. But the big thing is the pulse blast cannon I've had to take on this one, because again I just can't quite afford the 15 points to get the driver cannon in. So it might have its advantages. I've heard that it's the favoured gun, but I struggle with it. I don't understand why that is. It's only got a 30-inch range. Now okay, it's quite quick, so you can move up to 12, so that makes it sort of a 42-inch range, which isn't bad, but I'm not convinced. Not convinced at the moment. Yes, it has the D ability, but not convinced. I have though on this one managed to squeeze in the twin-linked air bursting fragmentation projector. Just something, another bit of shooting. It's another blast, large blast at that. It ignores cover. You know, it's a pretty cool little weapon to have on there. Just gives me an extra bit of shooting, extra bit of hold control. You know, potentially it's just an additional thing in there. Then, so that's the main force, if you like. Excuse me. So as I said, not ideal with the storm surges. Now, it might even work out better, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So the last part of the army to make up the 1850 points is I've gone for the drone formation in the new Farsight book. I can't remember the name of it, Montcar or something. And basically, I think this is an awesome formation. It consists of 4 units of drones, and those drones get buffed up to +1 ballistic skill, so they're now ballistic skill 3 rather than ballistic skill 2, which is awesome. And then when a lot more of the awesome sauce comes in, they also get Jink, Interceptor, Outflank. Yeah, they're pretty damn cool. So yeah, so just the +1 ballistic skill in itself makes them really worthwhile. Plus I need the marker lights because there's nothing anywhere else from marker lights. So that's 4 units of 4 marker drones, all with interceptor. So anything that drops in, not only do both the storm surges have interceptor, but these do as well. So the storm surges are basically killing anything that arrives by a deep strike, which I think is awesome. But to make it even more nasty, what I've got is obviously the commander in one of those units of drones with his drone commander, with his drone controller, making one of them hit on 2s, but still obviously because he's got interceptor, they're like coming down, the drones are hitting them on 2s, and then everything else is just hammering them afterwards. So I think that's pretty damn awesome. I think that's pretty scary. So that comes to 1848. So at the moment my only thing with it that I'm kind of just working out in my head is, do we lose the commander, maybe put in either a Fireblade or an Ethereal, and then potentially that then gives us the points to get the storm surges how I want them to be. But then it does mean I don't have that interceptory. Well, I still have interceptor, but I don't have that on 2s. I have only on 4s. And then obviously something slightly less survivable being a Ethereal or a Fireblade. But that might be a way to go, but that's kind of, I suppose, where I'm looking at. But at the moment, that's how it stands. I think it's really strong. Kicks out an awful lot of damage. It does have a fair bit of manoeuvrability with the Wyvaras, and ultimately it's out for damage more than anything. It's not going to give away many kill points, so I think it's a pretty solid list. So that's the first list. The second list, if I go onto it, the second list is similar in a way, but I've made a few changes. So this time I have an ethereal in my HQ slot. I have the same 2 units of Kroot. I have just the one Wyvara, and he has got, again, the Filnapain. I have the Storm Surges. This time both the Storm Surges are kitted out exactly as I want them. So all with all the right kit and caboodle, which is good. They both have the fragmentation projector things, so they've more blasts again. So I think that's ultimately how I would like to run them, which is really cool. So that's the kind of the body of the list, which is fairly similar. Where it comes differently is by stripping out the Wyvara and by stripping out the Commander, it's allowed me to put in a different formation, which is the ranged, I'm terrible with these names, the ranged something. And basically what that is that consists of 3 units of Pathfinders and 3 units of Broadsides. But they've got some really nifty rules. So the Pathfinders have Shrouded and they have Infiltrate. Now, they can only have the Shrouded rule until they move. So they can, as long as they infiltrate somewhere, they've got Shrouded, they keep pinging off their shots, they stay up with their Shrouded. As soon as they move, or if they decide to shoot their other weapon, they lose Shrouded. But basically you've got 3 units of Pathfinders that are likely to have a 2-up save, which is really, really good. Now, the other thing that's very cool is the Pathfinders Markolites are double in what they do for the broadside. So I'll give you an example. I haven't explained that very well. So basically, so if a Pathfinder shoots a Markolite at something and lights it up with 1 Markolite, for the broadside units they count as 2 Markolites, so it stacks that much quicker. So those 3 units of Pathfinders, at least for the broadsides, are going to be handing out tons of Markolites. The broadside squads, I've gone for units of 2, and I've just gone for the missiles, so they're missile sides, so 2 missile sides in each unit, no upgrades, just with their smart missile system and just their normal missiles. So they've got sort of 8 shots a model, so pretty good. 4 at strength 7, 4 at strength 5, twin linked, can't go wrong there. 3 units of them across the board. The other little rule that they get is if something charges the Pathfinders, the broadsides can support fire them from anywhere on the board, as long as they can see them or shoot them or within range, which is pretty awesome in itself. So basically that's the replacement, if you like. So that's the sort of second list. Now the advantage of that it has slightly more shooting, because the broadsides obviously all got their shooting that can shoot at different targets. So it's got a bit more shooting. The Markolites themselves are probably slightly more secure because they're on Pathfinders that are shrouded, so likely to have a 2-up save. So that's really good. Slightly less Markolites, but for the broadsides they're more. And also it gives me the Storm Surge that then are kitted out how I want them to be. So they're the 2 lists at the moment. The other thing about that list obviously has an ethereal. It will make the leadership bubble pretty good for things, which is going to help to a degree, but the ethereal dying will obviously give the opponent a victory point. So they're the 2 lists I'm playing around with at the moment. On paper I'm very, very happy with them. I know majority of the units inside out now, so that plays to my advantages as well. So let me know what you think, whether you like list 1 or you like list 2, or what you think the problems are, and I look forward to hearing from it. Until the next video, and then we'll kind of come back to it and sort of and see what the next step is. But thanks so much for watching the series so far. I'm really enjoying making it. I hope you're enjoying watching it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.